everyone, welcome to our series Flowerside Chats. We're going to be talking about tips, tricks, and trends for the season. My name is Mia Matachero. I am the social media manager here at 1-800-Flowers. We have two amazing guests with us today to talk about fall. So I'm going to introduce them for you guys. We have Alice Lewis. She is the CEO of Alice's Table, an interactive workshop online for culinary and floral that you can do with family and friends. Thanks for being with us, Alice.
Thanks for having me, Mia. Excited to be here.
Yeah, and we have Amanda Gluck, the creator of Fashionable Hostess. So she has a blog that will help you have all those tips and tricks to take your gathering to the next level. Thank you, Amanda.
Thanks so much for having me.
So today, I already went over this. We're talking about fall, the fall harvest, the season, starting to get chilly outside. Leaves are turning. Everyone's excited. I know I'm really happy that the season is kind of not as hot. We're ending down summer, getting ready to be with family. So I kind of wanted to start off with everybody talking about what they're excited about. What's your favorite thing about the fall season? So I'm going to start actually with Alice, if you want to answer that question.
Absolutely. I mean, fall for me is my favorite time of year. I look forward to it every year. Get out the cozy sweaters, start putting, the comfy blankets on the couches. It's just that moment that symbolizes to me bringing my family back together, having those gatherings around a big bowl of chili, and getting ready for the holidays. Being in the floral and entertaining industry, the holidays are kind of our Super Bowl. We always joke at the office. So everybody gears up and there's just this air of excitement both at the office and at home, which is really exciting.
I agree. I think it's such a fun time to get everyone together. Everyone's bringing out the pumpkins. They're drinking the pumpkin spice lattes. So I think I'm excited mostly to see people as well. What about you, Amanda?
Piggybacking off of what Alice said, she couldn't have said it better when she said it's like the start of the Super Bowl season, because that's really the way I think about fall. I tell everyone, I'm like, from here on out, I am busy through the end of the year. It's the time to really gather around the table. It's when you really get excited about decorating your home, both exterior and interior, starting with pumpkins and then just throughout the end of the year. I love being able to now set rich colors on the table and have really festive themes for each of the meals for all of the holidays, from just fall dinners, Halloween, and Thanksgiving. So there's so much fun to be had during the season.
Definitely. My family has my dad's birthday and my brother's birthday around this time. So fall for us is really special. We all kind of get together and have that moment of, what's next year going to be like, and haven't seen you guys in a few months. And now the whole family's together. And my mom, we always laugh, she's always preparing for the dinner, the gathering for months in advance. She's like, what food am I going to get? What decorations am I going to get? Who's going to come? And, you have the last minute additions and cancellations, but I'm always in charge of decorating the table and the house. This year, there's a lot of fall colors always, but Alice, I wanted to ask you, what are some fall trends that you're seeing? How are you planning to decorate for the gathering and kind of those centerpieces?
Absolutely. So this season, I'm really thinking about entertaining consistently. I think we've had a little hiatus for the past. And so we're all really excited to have people back into our homes and back together this year. I know I'm looking forward to Friendsgiving more than ever because that's really the first one that went, right? It's like, oh my gosh, can we even get together with our family, let alone the friends gatherings that we had before? And so what I'm thinking, and I think a lot of florists are thinking as we go into this fall season, is about long lasting blooms. What's going to help people have a consistent, beautiful table so that they can get that entertaining bug out for longer periods of time. So things like mums are very in. You see some gorgeous mums behind me. I mean, look at these things. These football mums are incredible.
Those are the biggest mums I've ever seen, by the way.
They really are. Yeah. They're a two-tone football mum. And just bringing those kind of golden red colors into your home, but also thinking about the longevity of the bouquet. Another fall trend this year that we're seeing in floral is with allowing flowers to have a second life. So sunflowers, I actually have some beautiful sunflowers next to me here. And these are mini sunflowers, which I really love. Sometimes sunflowers are too big and they kind of take over. Try to find some mini sunflowers. They give you that look. You can create a bouquet full of sunflowers and buy them when they're pointed forward. I get the question all the time, Alice, is that sunflower okay? It looks kind of tissue paper like. That's when you want to buy them. Sunflowers actually should last about 3 weeks if you buy them when their heads are faced forward and the petals are still a little bit tissue paper like. If the petals are facing backwards, it's a no-go, but forwards is great and they'll last a really long time in your home.
The one thing with sunflowers that I always have trouble with is cutting the stem though. When you get them, it's that thick stem. It's not really the same as like a normal flower. So how do you properly cut that? I mean, when I'm going in with the scissors, it's just ripping the stem apart.
So actually, sunflowers are really a hardy flower. First of all, with all flowers, we want to cut it 45-degree angle. There are 2 reasons why. One is we increase the surface area. And the second is you don't want a flat stem on the flat bottom of the vase. You just don't get any water. With sunflowers, I know you can kind of hack at them and you're like, oh my gosh, am I hurting the sunflower? You're not at all. Even if it rips a little bit, it doesn't matter. Actually, breaking up those fibers some helps the sunflower hydrate even better. A lot of times with woodier stems, we do what's called cracking the stem. We cut up the stem to just break up the fibers to allow the flower to hydrate more. Another really important thing in talking about cutting flowers is when you receive them, making sure you cut like 2 inches off. The longer flowers are out of water, the bigger a scab grows. And if you don't cut that whole scab off, they're not going to hydrate and they're not going to last a long time. So make sure you give that nice cut, particularly in this fall season where you want things to last a long time.
Great advice. I'm going to do that with the bouquet behind me. I'm going to see, how long I can get those to last in here in my New York apartment with, not as much sun as a home.
Alice, those are incredible tips. I'm so excited to know those. I actually have a question.
Yeah.
You know how some flowers come with flower food and some don't? Yeah. Do you have like a little hack for ones that don't?
Yes. So number 1, use plant food. It works. Flower food, it works. It is a sugar and a preservative. So it kills bacteria and feeds your flowers. If you don't have plant food, use vodka. Okay. Yeah. Seriously, a splash of vodka and you're good to go. It kills the bacteria with the alcohol and has a high enough sugar content to feed your flowers.
So everyone's celebrating. Everyone's having fun at this gathering.
Exactly. The flowers need a little cocktail too.
So Amanda, actually speaking of celebrating and the gathering, today or this year, I guess, is kind of the first year that we're really getting people together back at the table. We were virtual before, and I think a lot of people may be hesitant or have anxiety around getting those family members together again and those friends together again. So what is your advice to the hostess to really make everybody feel comfortable coming to this gathering and seeing everybody again for the fall?
So I have a few tips for this. Number one is if you are able to, I highly recommend um, putting your table outside. A lot of the CDC recommendations are saying that they recommend people outside. The open air is much better. And to do this, if it's not too cold, you can actually create a really fun fall display with cozy blankets on everyone's seat to wrap themselves up, and maybe plaid pillows on all of the chairs. And then you can really just work off the landscape around you and use garlands and greenery in your centerpiece to kind of tie back to, the natural landscape that you're being surrounded by. So that would be my number one recommendation. If it's family and you are going to be inside, a really fun thing I've done is to create individual charcuterie boards. So rather than, creating your big cheese plate that we're also used to like grabbing from and touching and using our hands, we now can have little boards for each guest or family, and they can take them and share. And we're like a little less concerned about that. And then my third tip would be to create a bar station where you have everything displayed for guests to help themselves. So now they're touching their own drinks, pouring their own mixers, taking their own ice and garnishes, and just less room for germs to spread, and a little bit more peace of mind.
I think that's great advice. That's, the one thing that I think everybody is hesitant about, right? Is that cross contamination.
Yeah.
Even though we're just all more germaphobes now these days. I think I'm much
it's
aware
true.
of,
I definitely am.
yeah, like who's touching what?
Right, exactly. The other thing I've done at parties, and granted, this depends on space and what furniture you have, is you can create different little tables for each pod that is sitting together. And if you need to have some people making it more casual, you do it buffet style, and you have some people sitting on the couch, some people sitting at a table. I think we're all so happy to be together that even just a little bit of distance isn't going to ruin the times.
Yeah, I agree. I think everybody's just kind of going to be overstimulated sometimes too, right? At the table, it's like I've been with my pod for so long that I'm kind of weary of sitting next to everybody and having those conversations, jumping back into the social scene there. Everyone's starting to kind of get back into those events. Weddings are happening again. Birthday parties are happening again. I think with weddings being so popular in the fall and that fall harvest theme of a wedding, you kind of brought up mums and sunflowers before, Alice. Would you say that that's something you would put in your bouquet for a wedding, or would you put in your centerpieces on the table?
Yeah, so I think this year with weddings, anything goes. People have been waiting for years now for their wedding. And so I think, basically all of the rules of weddings have gone out the window. And it's like, first of all, can you get a date? And if you can, who cares? We're just happy to be together. So that's first and foremost. I think what I love about that is some of the pretense of weddings has been relaxed, I think, in this COVID time, which is really nice. And we're seeing brides be a little bit more open to different florals, when they used to have very pre-prescribed notions of what was in their bouquet. What I always say with a bridal bouquet, it is so personal. Pick what you love, pick what you want to hold. The one thing that's important is remember that you have to hold it. You're going to be holding it a lot through the day. So make it manageable, make it something that, is not so cumbersome that it's uncomfortable.
Unless you have an amazing maid of honor who's going to carry it for her.
Right. Okay. That's true. Yeah. If you have an awesome maid of honor, forget what I just said. But otherwise.
Or you can make it really heavy and it's a great arm workout.
Exactly. The other trend that I'm loving this year on the tablescape is we're seeing lots of tables with many different small bouquets down the center of the table.
Oh.
And I'm loving the trend of single types of flowers in each vase. It's a really easy thing to replicate at home. Or if you're doing your wedding yourself, really easy to replicate. One type of flower per vase, buy a very big variety of different vase sizes, and it's gonna look gorgeous.
And that keeps it really manageable with, flowers are expensive and you
Totally.
normally spend so much money at these events on flowers,
Yeah.
which, as you should, because flowers are beautiful and they
Right.
really make the moment. But I think that's a really manageable way, like you said, to have everything that you want and more. When you're going to these events, you're a guest, you want to bring something saying, thank you for having me. We've waited so long to see you. And I know you put so much effort into having us all here. What would you say, I guess, Amanda, I'll ask you this question. What would you say is the best way to show up as a guest to say, you know what, thank you? Because I know this is a lot on you and you're putting a lot of work into this.
So I, as a guest, have never shown up empty-handed. I can't enter someone's home without a little something. So I think it's appropriate to mention 1-800-Flowers. And so you can send ahead an arrangement and let them know that the centerpiece is covered, or, that some beautiful flowers will be there. So that's so convenient. I love that they have the same day delivery, so many seasonal options. If you do go on the website, you see that there are lots of different options from foods and flowers. And actually, I have one right here from Sherry's Berries, and they did like a seasonal chocolate covered strawberries I guess they're so delicious. I'm actually thrilled to have these.
Is that our pumpkin? Like our
Yes.
fall? Yes.
So they're
fun.
And it's just so beautiful. And now you can say, you know what, I have dessert covered, and they're going to be like, oh my God, these are gorgeous. As a guest, I always love to ask the host, hi, is there something I can help with? In particular, maybe you've got the main course covered. Can I bring dessert? Can I bring fruit? Can I bring the wine? So always that. And sometimes they're like, no, please just show up. So then I'll send flowers. Or now this time of year, you can come up with something like a little bit more seasonal. Like I love a pack of like copper mugs, which would be so fun for making Moscow mules, which is like my favorite cocktail. You can do a couple of seasonal cheeses, like a pumpkin cheese, and maybe with like a really nice cheese knife. And then you can never go wrong with like a truffle, honey, and with a cheese. So yeah, there's so many different routes you can go. I always find the best way to go is through the stomach, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I always recommend to show up with a gift.
Gifting, I think at an event or at a gathering is always important. It just shows that you're thanking them and you really appreciate all the time and money and effort that they're putting into it. And it's just the small things that matter during these times, getting people together and saying, hey, I love you and I'm happy to be with you. It's been a long time. The weather's great. There's football on TV, dad's yelling, the dog's happy.
And for us,
really
we end up traveling, for the holidays to my husband's family. So sometimes it's really hard to show up with extra gifts in the luggage. That's why I love being able to send something ahead in the mail. And then they maybe get it a day or two before you come. And they're so appreciative when you get there.
That's so smart. Set the good standard, right? I promise I'm a good guest.
I'm the good daughter-in-law.
Yes. Yes. So, that brings us to the holidays that are coming up in the fall. We do have things like tailgating that are happening with football, and we have the weddings that are really big in the fall, but the big elephant in the room is Thanksgiving. That's, always what everyone's planning for. They're already preparing for it. I think once Halloween hits, it's a Thanksgiving frenzy, right? So we're all thankful now that we can in some way be with each other. And I know that I'm really thankful that I can fly again and be with my family in Florida. I'm normally in New York, and I kind of want to ask everybody what they're most thankful for this season and what's bringing you the joy.
This Thanksgiving, I'm super thankful to be able to go back home to Chicago. I've gone home to Chicago every year since I left for college, you know, too many years ago. And last year I didn't get to do that. So I'm really excited to go home, it'll be the first Thanksgiving that my daughter and my nephew will be able to be together for Thanksgiving.
That's so fun. I
it'll be
remember those
really fun.
memories with all my
Exactly.
cousins around and running and playing games. It's the
Yeah.
best part of the holiday, isn't it?
I think just, you know, the last year or two, it's just been a lot of time to reflect on the simpler things and just being appreciative for good health and for just the little moments that while, you know, being at home so much is sometimes very exhausting. I have 3 kids, I have a puppy, I have, you know, a lot of work to do, but on the other hand, it's been a moment to slow things down. And so I personally love the holidays. It's time to reflect, a time to appreciate everything that I have in my life. And, you know, I just feel very blessed to have the good fortune that we've had with our good health and my beautiful children. And so, yeah, I love this time to reflect and just appreciate those sort of things.
Yeah, it's the little things. It's always the little things in life that we come back to. I think we all get swept away in our job and our daily life and our small worries that we make so big. But when you're able to get back to the people you love and the, you know, the great weather and everything, you really do take that sip of hot coffee on a chilly morning and you're like, wow, I'm thankful for this moment that I'm healthy and I'm here and I'm able to really live in it. So I agree with that answer completely. Well, you know, I wanted to thank you guys for coming here today and sharing your tips and tricks with us. I wish everybody has a really great fall season, seeing your family and celebrating the chillier weather. Have some, you know, horror movie marathons. But thank you for joining us today.
Thanks so much. This was so fun.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.